Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. We've got a packed show today. We're going to be dropping a Raw preview with Triple H on the phone. We've also got results and reviews of AEW's Rampage and a huge Friday night Smackdown. Oh, my goodness gracious. We've also got a bunch of news, including FTR deciding on what's next for them, Stone Cold's latest update on possible WrestleMania plans. But first, let's talk about this. Adrenaline in my soul. Somebody's making plans for Cody Rhodes and his Universal title reign, which might be coming up in just a few weeks.
It seems that way, and that person making plans would be Cody Rhodes, seemingly, because he spoke with Stadium Astro and revealed what winning the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship would mean to him and what he would plan to do with the title should he become champion. These transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co. That's what Cody had to say. Quote, "It would mean vindication. Made a great career out of proving people wrong."
True.
Continues. It's vindication for those who have been there every step of the way. Like the song Kingdom says, "I'll follow you till the end." I don't know if he sang it, but I did.
I wish he sang the entire thing.
I know. When is the end? Is the end when I win the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship? Or is it the end when I win the title and then take it to every single place I can possibly take it, excel, and deliver on a level that no champion has done in years? I want to cut a schedule like Bret Hart, like Ric Flair. I want to do something very different than what modern champions have done, where there's a bit of a less is more schedule. I want a more is more schedule. It would mean vindication for me for sure. So Cody, just like Triple H, more but better is his philosophy.
Dude, I got some lab work done today, so they drew some blood. So there's a prime hole right here. More Cody injected right here.
You just want an IV filled with more Cody going directly into your veins is what you're asking for.
Can't get enough. Did you see the miracle? I mean, Larson, isn't he qualified for sainthood now after the miracle we saw on Friday bringing together Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for Hugomania? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, it was an obvious story beat. The way that it was executed was chef's kiss. We're going to talk about that a little bit later because I feel like you've got a counter to that. I do appreciate, though, that the guy, and here's the thing, this is kind of playing into how I want to see him lose one of those titles.
It does.
Burnout. Because here's the thing, these days, especially in 2023, the crunch is everything, man. You got to work. You got to hustle. The grind. And so Cody Rhodes hopping on that, hey, more is more Cody. What do you think the odds are now that we're a couple weeks out that we're going to get that Cody Rhodes on the roads all the time?
His mission statement, if you will.
Yeah.
Essentially, the more Cody, the better.
If it's like Warren Beatty said in the award-winning documentary about Madonna, Truth or Dare, he said, if the camera's not on me, then am I even living life? Does it even matter if the camera's not on me? The answer clearly is no, because in WWE, unless the camera's on Cody, nothing really matters.
Seemingly, that's been kind of the tack they've been taking the last 2 months ever since he came back at the Rumble.
Yeah,
all Cody all the time. More Cody is better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and either seems like either you're cool with that or
you're Larson. Oh man, I do appreciate that though, man. Like you said, you got whether it's Jeff over in AEW or Roman Reigns, or before Roman Reigns, famously Brock Lesnar, who spent months at a time as a Universal Champion or WWE Champion, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Not
on TV, yes.
Not on TV, not showing up. It would be refreshing to have a dude who's out there on the grind. I think people would appreciate that. Somebody who's always there. I mean, the people who like Cody Rhodes would appreciate that. The people who don't like him, maybe they'd be like, hey, you know what? More of an opportunity for somebody else to take that title off Cody Rhodes.
Perchance, one could hope. Let's talk about Stone Cold. What?
So, there's been numerous reports over the last few weeks about various pitches made for a media match for Stone Cold Steve Austin, including bouts against Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. During a recent appearance on The Wrestling Classic, Austin denied that he'd been approached for a bitch at the greatest stage of them all. These transcripts.
Grandest stage.
The grandest stage. Sorry, it threw me off a little bit here. It's supposed to be on the grandest stage of them all. These transcripts. No, it's all good. Also, his name is Brock Lesnar, not Brock Lesnar, but it's all good. I try to go with the flow here. He said this. I'll do this in my best.
Throw me under the bus all sorts of ways, aren't you?
You corrected me. That's why you son of a bitch. He says this. I haven't heard anything. We're literally, as we speak right now, it's about 2 weeks away, and it's the biggest show of the year. Right now, I think WWE has as good as roster as they've had since the Attitude Era. They got a deep roster, so I think so many guys and gals need those coveted spats. They've got plenty of names to draw from, plenty of talent to draw from. I think they should shine the light and the cameras on their current superstars. What? Next, bitch.
I mean, he's right. They should.
They have a killer roster.
They do. Especially in terms of in-ring talent, the roster's never been better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never been better.
I appreciate what he's saying. Although I also understand that he's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you got whatever it is, 55,000 people, 60,000 people there to watch some WWE. Giving him a segment that's going to take, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so in total.
It's going to be LA Knight coming out, interrupting the show.
Yeah.
You're going to hear the glass break. Austin's come out, drop a couple stunners, drink a couple Steve Weisers. Show goes on.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. The way you sound, it sounds so shitty.
No, I mean,
it's going to be LA Knight. It's going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
In this instance, I'm not trying to be shitty, Steve.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. So this is a very serious question.
Sure.
Who's going to get a bigger pop? LA Knight or the glass breaking?
Oh, LA Knight.
Right. That's okay. We're on the same page there.
Yeah, it'd be 55,000 people going, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, absolutely. And then as soon as the glass breaks, boo. This is LA Knight's time. This is LA Knight's moment. And the rattlesnake is out here ruining it.
You got to have what?
Yeah. Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Off.
This writes itself. This is a no-brainer.
It really does.
Yeah, they should really do this.
Talk about WrestleMania moments. This could be a defining WrestleMania moment, an all-time WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, right.
If they do this.
LA Knight finally grabs the torch. A 2-for-1 special. He gets 2 torches for one on Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There you go.
He tries to drop a stunner, no sell it, kip up after the stunner, smacks him, walks away, smacks him again.
Oh, and then his finisher, BFT.
Oh, the BFT, yeah. Whoop-ha, like that. The gravy train. Yeah, no, I think you're probably right. I think he's totally going to be there. Like everybody who's not going to be there is going to deny that they're going to be there.
Oh, of course.
But this makes all the sense in the world. Seems like LA Knight's on a bit of a losing streak, but getting a 2-for-1 special on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because here's the thing, even though he's going to be hit with like a couple stunners, like he'll still be able to walk away with this claiming that he was the attraction that night because he was in the ring with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it's a win-win for everybody to have him out there.
And just by that happening, he gave WrestleMania an LA Knight moment.
Right, which is all you and I really want, an LA
That's
Knight
all
moment.
I'll watch the 4 hours or 8 hours, of WrestleMania, just hoping to get that LA Knight moment for Mania.
Oh, man. And if you do, boom, fulfilled,
Yeah.
A couple super chats here. Caleb says, is Larson still a hater towards Cody Rhodes?
I don't hate Cody.
Well, calling somebody a hater and saying that they hate somebody, those are kind of two different things.
I mean, I'm fairly indifferent towards Cody. He's fine. I just think there's aspects of the story that, for my taste, would work better for me.
Yeah,
without him involved.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll get to that in a second here. Guardian Ape, though, says, do you guys think if Roman wins at Mania that the fans will turn again? Royal Rumble 2015 flashbacks?
I mean,
you have to base that's a good point. You have to sort of like try to understand that Roman Reigns is a different person now. Just imagine this is a brand new superstar that was introduced alongside Paul Heyman back in 2020, the tribal chief. It's a completely separate circumstances. If the fans boo Roman Reigns, it's because he's doing something shitty, not because they're just ramming him down our throats.
Indeed.
That's my take on it.
And also he's a heel, and so that's the reaction you want.
Yeah. While we are reading these super chats here, I want to give a shout out also to new patrons, new channel members. This past week on Overrun, our bonus episodes every week on Fridays that are available to channel members and patrons at $5 and up. We did a retro review, our latest one of the year, the first Full Sail episode of NXT. After it was a game show, and after it was sort of their version of what is now main event. So when it went to Full Sail, and he had the new era of NXT with the NXT title and all kind of stuff.
Yes.
So
it was, season 6, episode 1.
On the Peacock, that's what it is, exactly. And so it was a lot of fun to go back and look at the history of NXT from like a TV standpoint. Like, how were they watching it back then? That's what we talked about. And I had a lot of fun during that review. It'll go up on the regular channel for everybody in a couple weeks from now. But for right now, it's still available specifically for the Friendo Club members. Patreon.com/Steven Larson, and of course for channel members. And then of course we're gonna have another overrun this week. You also get access to our predictions challenge, the digital Big Red predictions challenge. That's the digital Big Red champion. Oh man, it's huge. Is currently held by Angelic Wolf, who won it last month for AEW's Revolution, and or I guess earlier this month. And yeah, WrestleMania is fast approaching. So who will become the new Big Red champion? It could be you.
Me?
What? No. I mean, yeah, theoretically it could be you, but I'm saying you to the universe, to the Steven Larson universe out there.
Understood.
You know, all you got to do is click join on the YouTube, and then of course,
you were telling me I was going to win.
Hey man, I think you're doing great work these days, and I think it's entirely possible. What is that sourpuss look on your face? Wow.
When you do that, I feel like you're being condescending. Let's talk about FTR.
All right, let's talk about Fatur.
Let's talk about FTR. So Dax Harwood has been talking extensively on his podcast, FTR with Dax Harwood. No cash, though, about FTR's AEW deal being up in April, and it appears that Dax and Cash have made a decision on what their next step is going to be. As Harwood tweeted out this weekend, quote, "Just got off the phone with Cash. We decided what we're going to do come April. Nothing is official yet, so legally we can't speak on it, but the next couple of weeks we'll let all our fans know. We owe it to y'all for the opportunities we have in front of us. Love y'all. So, of course, let's go back to Revolution. Shortly after that show, where FTR returned, PW Insider reported, quote, "The belief was that FTR locked into long-term deals with AEW, and their disappearance tease of going elsewhere was just a storyline cover." So it feels to me that if they're going to come back, feud with the Guns, and probably win those tag titles, they would not be doing that unless they re-signed with the company. If they were probably or considering going to WWE, I don't feel like they'd be on TV.
The timing is a little weird, isn't it? Because April is like, I don't know, less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Who knows when in April those contracts would have been up. Is it possible, just for the sake of conversation, is it possible that this decision is simply to not go to WWE, but also not necessarily to sign with AEW? And if that was the case, is it possible that they would still win the AEW tag titles while being on an appearance agreement?
For sure.
I think it would be too. Yeah. I mean, they've talked about that possibility, but that possibility was not being on TV, and obviously this would necessitate them.
Yeah,
being
the
on
idea
TV.
was they would take a year off from doing televised wrestling, just kind of have the matches they want to have, wherever that may be, and then come back. But yeah, if they're going to be in the tag title picture in the near future, then yeah, it seems likely. I'm not going to say a certainty, but highly likely they're sticking around AEW.
Yeah, man, there are so many uncertainties with as good as the Bloodline story's been. For my money, Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio, for as good as that's been, for as good as WWE in general has been lately, a lot of unknowns. And nothing like in the very near future that is certain. Like we don't know if the sale's going to go through. And given how the Revival retreated back in WWE, which I know they were tag team champions a couple times over, but you go back to the clown costumes.
Yeah.
And there is some stuff there that I could see why they would be hesitant. And in some cases, man, if it's not broke, then there's no need to fix it. If they're happy with what they got going on now, they're able to see their families more often than they would be in the WWE. And I know they've said that they're coming towards the end, like this is going to be their last contract or whatever they've said about that. But minds can always be changed. You know, if they have a stellar run for, let's say, 3 years in AEW, and they're like, hey, we still got a lot to offer. We still love this, and WWE's in a really good place. Maybe we would see them back in WWE. I think that's totally a possibility. Yeah. But interesting. So I guess we'll find out. Did he say when we're going to in the next couple of weeks?
He said the next few weeks, yeah.
All right. Do you think it's going to be like a special episode of the FTR podcast where it's actually both of them?
It's going to be when they win the AEW tag titles and they grab the mic and he says, we're sticking around.
We're not fucking leaving.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. A couple more super chats here from Dex Terrace says, what would you think about LA Knight versus Seth Rollins for Mania next year if neither of them are in the title scene by then? I kind of expect Seth Rollins to be WWE champion or in that scene by next year.
It's entirely possible Seth will be in the mix, but if not, I'll take that.
I'd be down with that.
I'll take that.
Eastside Reviews asks, will LA Knight called Stone Cold an incel?
You know, he seemingly uses that word sparingly these days.
Yeah,
I haven't heard him say it in a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know if someone said, hey, don't use it or what, but if the idea is that only use it with maximum impact, well, that's maximum impact right there.
Like the most alpha wrestler in perhaps WWE history, Stone Cold Steve Austin being called an incel would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It would be really funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'd be awesome. All right, man.
All right,
go ahead and unload. Unload, buddy. I know you got a lot on your mind.
I'm not going to unload. I'm going to have a measured take. So, the good. We saw Sammy and Kevin Owens reunite at the conclusion of Smackdown. I like the approach they took with it from Kevin Owens' standpoint. Because Sammy's pitch this whole time is, if we work together, we can take down the bloodline. That's not what Kevin Owens wanted. He wanted his best friend back. And he more or less told Sammy that. And Sammy, the light bulb went off in his head. He went out and talked to Kevin Owens in the parking lot and told him that he loved him. And that's kind of like a level of vulnerability we don't see very often in wrestling television. And I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, in an industry dominated by alpha males, you know, and characters who are afraid or seemingly unwilling to show that level of vulnerability. For that to happen on the show, I thought was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
And I did appreciate that their reunion wasn't necessarily directly due to Cody mediating things.
Yeah, right. Kevin Owens came to that conclusion on his own.
Yes, he did. And so I appreciate that. It literally wasn't Cody sitting there as like an arbitrator having them work out their issues.
Not that he didn't try.
No, he set the table and then they did their part. That being said, and I understand that, including you, a lot of people like Cody's involvement in the storyline. I think I've been pretty honest that I would have preferred for Cody to have his story, for Sammy and Kevin Owens to have their story. It's just personal preference. I'm not saying how they approach this is wrong. It's just not how I was hoping it would play out. Because you could take Cody out of this episode of SmackDown as it relates to Sammy and Kevin Owens, and the same exact thing could have happened. You could have had Sammy come and open the show and said, Kevin, I saw what happened on Raw. This gets to my point. Can you please come out here? And you could have that same interaction between Sammy and Kevin, where Sammy just says, if there's something you need to say to me, just say it. Just say what's on your mind. And it leads to Kevin saying, you know, why would I fight with someone who doesn't want to be my friend? And then Sammy has the same realization. Everything else could have played out the exact same, except for, you know, we wouldn't have Cody standing in front of that television screen at the end of the show. I
really wish he wasn't even. I wish that they cut back to Cody and some fucking Star Trek Picard was on.
Yeah.
Because he's a big Star Trek fan.
Yeah. Again, that's just personal preference. And you had the moment with Kevin and Sammy embracing in the ring, finally reunited. And it was my concern going into this that a lot of the story beats that felt like I was hoping would be Kevin and Sammy's moments are now part of Cody's story rather than existing solely on their own. And I don't know. It turned out the way they approached it, it didn't actually steal some of the spotlight from them, but it just kind of seems like to a certain degree. And I understand that Cody's kind of building up his own squad to counter the bloodline. I understand all that. But it felt for me, you give Sammy and Kevin their moment without Cody there. And for me, that would have been more powerful, but that's just my taste. Welcome to disagree. I know plenty will. And I'm sure you will have a counter to all that right now. It's just, it's subjective. We all appreciate various things in entertainment and art. And in my mind, having the story kind of all coalesce and come together at WrestleMania, rather than have Cody kind of being babyface Roman Reigns and manipulating things to benefit him, for my taste, might have been more powerful. But I'll leave it at that.
Here's why I did like it. Because number one, what you said is right. He wasn't there. He wasn't the guy. He merely led them there. He got them in the room together and had them discover on their own what the issue was. And he knew that would be the case. He realized, if I get these guys together, just have them figure out what the issue is, their history is so thick that they would get on the same page. The thing that I liked about this most is it just made sense. Because here's the thing, if Heyman and Roman hadn't shown up and started pulling out Dusty Rhodes impressions, this never would have happened. Cody Rhodes was simply there to claim a wrestling title. He had no desire to try to break up the family, to try to bring the bloodline down. He was going to take on Roman one-on-one as a matter of business. And then they had to send Paul Heyman over there and be a piece of shit and talk about Brandy. That gave Cody the motivation to try, okay, they're going to make this personal. What can I do to fuck with them and get back at them? That's why I like this, because it's Roman's fault. Roman is the guy who sent Heyman over there and was like, hey, we're going to make this personal and fuck with them. And Heyman went and did it. And Cody was like, wait, that wasn't just Heyman. That was you. Okay, fine. You're going to get what you fucking deserve. Now, was the shot of Cody at the end a little bit much? I hate to admit, it probably was, but it's also wrestling, and there is that element of, yeah, look what I just did. Look what I did. Because he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, so of course it's part of his story now. No, I actually think that they were playing around Elimination Chamber in the Royal Rumble. Well, I'm sorry, the Royal Rumble, playing with a little bit of fire. Is you've got a fan base that could easily, and on the internet, certainly, has been advocating for Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. And now all but the weirdest fringe are saying, oh, that would have been the way to go. Clearly it's Cody. And honestly, kind of validating for both of us in that it never should have been Sammy, because when Jey Uso gave his speech, guess what? He was right. Jay's been right this whole time. He's been right. It's just, unfortunately, when you're the guy who can't sack up enough to get the job done, and Sammy did do that because Sammy was right as well. The only reason I did it is because you couldn't. Mm-hmm. And you should, because look, he treats you like a doormat. Mm-hmm. So you have all these great characters who are all right in their own way.
Yep.
My thing after Elimination Chamber was this. I knew that the storytelling so far has been so good that even though there was a lull, and I'll admit there was a lull, but after every act, there's going to be a lull. That's just the nature of storytelling. They were going to build it back up to a place where that crowd would be huge into this match. That crowd was huge into that moment the other night, and they're huge. They're going to be huge into this match. Brother and brother versus brother and brother. Mm-hmm. That is great stuff. It's bigger than Sammy versus Roman Reigns. It's a match that makes more sense when everybody is simply doing what's in their nature to do. And this isn't even a good guys, bad guys thing. It's not. I know that Owens and Zayn, because they've got the more, in a way, romanticized version of their brotherhood playing out. They're the good guys, and the guys who can't stand up to Roman Reigns are going to be the bad guys. But nobody's wrong here. And that's what makes it so good.
Definitely.
And Cody being the facilitator of that, I don't think it's been too much. And we got plenty of people here in chat that disagree with that. A lot of people that disagree with you. So there's all sorts of opinions on this, and that's great. But I personally don't think. I thought maybe, yes, I did chuckle because it took me out of the moment when they showed Cody backstage.
Yeah.
Probably unnecessary.
Yeah.
But still, also you need that little element of, well, WWE always kind of hits the nail a little too much on the head.
A little bit, yeah.
But no, I thought people love Cody. They were giving him the Cody chance out there. The WrestleMania moments are going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks of build heading into WrestleMania. And the bottom line is you can't disagree with that pop they got. That pop they got was huge, and a job well done by WWE on this.
Yeah, when you lay the groundwork, even if the road getting to those moments isn't perfect, you lay enough of the groundwork. You hit the moment as it should be done, and you're going to get the reaction you want. So in that sense, yeah. Let's look ahead to WrestleMania, because Sammy, in his his face-to-face with Jay, brought up the chair shot, the one that Sammy could deliver to Roman, the one that Jay never could and hasn't been able to yet. Are we going to see a situation play out at WrestleMania where everything comes together? You're going to have Roman versus Cody. You have the Bloodline ringside. You might even have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ringside.
Yeah.
Ref bump. Bloodline have the upper hand. It seems like it's just a mere formality at this point that Roman's going to win. And Roman tests Jay again with the chair. Hit Cody with it. And you have Sami there ringside pleading with him. Now is your opportunity. Now is your moment to make the choice. Are you going to make the choice that you need to make for yourself? And then Jay finally does it. Are they going to reference that moment that they've already played twice out again? And this time is Jay going to follow through and blast Roman with it? Is Roman getting his face, start pie-facing him again? Especially after the Usos probably lose the tag titles.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Roman could look upon his cousin as a failure for not holding up his end of the deal in terms of retaining all the gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And humiliate Jay again to such a degree that Jay finally just snaps and does it.
I think there's a good possibility. I think that would be excellent. I think that's what they need to do. And yes, it has to be Jay. And if you look at probably, and I have no idea if scientifically this is accurate, but you'd have to imagine that one of the biggest pops in the history of wrestling was Mankind winning the title.
Yeah.
You remember who was out there?
Everybody.
Every DX, Stone Cold, McMahon, Shane, everybody was out there. And absolutely for this to be, and Triple H knows how to book a finish. And if he understands this might be his one and only WrestleMania, oh boy, this is going to be a huge, and here's the thing. Cody simply needs the playing field to be evened out. He doesn't need an upper hand. He simply needs the bloodline to be evened out. And part of that, has to fall on Jey Uso being the one to the primary guy to even that field out. But it all starts with that match the night before, because you'd imagine the tag titles were going to go down the night before. It all starts there. What's going to happen? The Usos losing their tag titles, and Roman Reigns, like you said, manipulating you guys are a failure. We're going in now with less titles. And how's that going to play out? The chair would be excellent. I'd like to go back and look at some of maybe the Roman J stuff from early on and see if there's something there that would more directly reference their history as opposed to the Shield's and now Sammy's history with Roman Reigns. But no, absolutely, Jay's gotta be the guy.
Yeah, although the Shield chair shot thing would make sense because betrayal is such a sticking point with Roman.
Yeah,
and to reference the initial betrayal at Seth's hand yet again with Jay. Maybe I'll tie the whole thing together in that respect too.
I'm trying to remember, how did he win his first match against Jey Uso?
Oh, you're asking me. That's too tough a question right now.
I'm gonna go back and do some research on that, man, because I want to know. I want to have clever fantasy booking scenarios, man.
Yeah,
I gotta put it in my GM mode. By the way, thanks everybody for hanging out with us yesterday for my GM. Boy, I was telling you earlier, man, we gotta apply to 2K's. What is it? Next Makers, I think it's called.
You're always saying. You're always.
I think that's what it's called.
I guess that's what it is. I guess we should then.
Because man, oh man, we had a killer audience yesterday. for all that stuff. But yeah,
I will say this though: I thought I had 2 really, really solid shows booked, and not the results I was hoping.
WCW wins again.
Not in terms of who won the matches, just in terms of like the appreciation my GM had for
Let me ask you something, dude.
Putting out there.
Did you book anything as compelling as Hulk Hogan having a promo calling out Hollywood Hulk Hogan?
You know, Steve, I celebrate fuck Hulk Hogan Day. I can't get it out each and every day. So no.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. You know. I got to give it up to Amos and Sheamus for dropping The Rock and Goldberg with both their finishers at the same time in a killer tornado match. No, honestly, this is what you got to do. This is the only thing you got to worry about. Bending over backwards to make sure you have face versus heel matches.
Yeah, no,
that kills everybody. If you don't do that, Triple H will come down hard on you, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
Anyways, Cody Rhodes kicked off SmackDown with a promo. Said, so Kansas City, ooh, what do you want to talk about? We could talk about WrestleMania. In the last few weeks on the road to WrestleMania, tempers have been what they've been. Stakes have been incredibly high, but I do want to take a moment to point out that I have the utmost respect for Roman Reigns. I think Roman's the greatest champ in sports and entertainment. I'm sorry, in sports and sports entertainment alike. I look forward to seeing Roman in this ring on Monday Night Raw, and I look forward to beating Roman at Mania. But I don't want to talk about somebody. I want to talk to somebody, and I know he's back there. I know he's watching. So please, Kevin Owens, come on out. And then he has to stall a little bit. Finally, Kevin Owens comes out. He says, there's a lot of as he's stalling, he's like, there's a lot of respect between us. I'm asking nicely. Finally, so Kevin Owens comes out, Larson.
Yeah, he says, thank you, Cody. I'm pretty sure I know what this is about, and we've been over this. You could be Cody if you like, Steve.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Cody says, listen, just hear me out. I don't think this is a conversation between 2 people. Hey, Kev, I think it's a conversation that involves another party. So please, Sami Zayn, come on down.
Full game show host mode here.
Big time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Sammy comes to the ring. Cody hands him a mic, and then Cody asks,
Kevin, you good? In the spirit of WrestleMania, I'm gonna peel back the curtain slightly for those that don't know. By the way, I loved this bit. With him and Kevin Owens talking about after he left the company. He says, for those who don't know, this is the perfect place to find out. I have an incredible respect and love for you, Kevin. It's true because 6 or 7 years ago, when I was so bold to say good luck to you, WWE, in your future endeavors, I said it with this confidence that didn't really exist. It was false. I needed help. Made it up. Our writers made it up. I needed contacts. I needed structure. I needed to know the system that was out there. I needed someone who had my back, someone who rooted for me. And you, sir, introduced me to some friends.
Young Bucks.
Thank you. You, sir, made that easy for me. You, sir, bettered my livelihood, and it's a favor I can never repay, but I'd really like to repay it in this moment. We're all here. Let's have the conversation.
And Kevin, deep sigh. I've heard everything. I've heard everything he has to say. And then Sammy responds, but here's the thing, Kevin. I haven't heard everything you have to say. That's why I don't really know what else to say at this point, because I feel like throughout the years, whether we're friends or enemies, we've done some pretty unspeakable stuff to each other. We've turned on each other. We've hurt each other. But we've always found a way to come back, to forgive each other, to get on the same page. And I can't, for the life of me, can't understand why this time is so different. So if there's something, never mind what I have to say, if there's something you need to say, if there's something you need to get off your chest, tell me. If you need to scream at me, do it. If you need to punch me in the face, do it. Do whatever you need to do so we can get back to working together. Kevin says, look, man, I came out here like you asked. I listened. I heard him out. Can I just... And he points towards a ramp. He wants to go.
The juxtaposition here, before I keep on going with Cody, the juxtaposition of Kevin Owens, who's delivering this in the most shoot way possible, so to speak, in the most real way. Who is this? Caleb here in our YouTube chat says, Cody can be a little too much Shakespearean for me. That's a great way to put it. He's very eloquent, quite verbose. And then on the other side of that, you have Kevin Owens, who just embodies normal people, So Cody says, did I get what I wanted? Guys, we both know better than anyone that we're in the service industry. We're in the people-pleasing business. It doesn't matter what I want. Sure, it's what I want. It's what Michael Cole wants. It's what everybody wants. It's what every single person, everybody wants. Every single one of these people want to see you back on the same page. And so the crowd, they chant, hug it out, because that's the best they can come up with.
Yeah.
Because that's what people do.
So Sammy says, Kevin, they want it. I want it. It's in your best interest. It's in our best interest if we come together and we could do something magical. We could do something remarkable. We could be the ones that bring down the ones. I know it might take years before this is repaired, but I've told you before, we don't even need to do this as friends. We just need to work together. And Kevin interrupts him and goes, I know. I've heard you say it for weeks. We don't need to be friends. You don't want a friend. You just need me to fight with you. So me and Cody and you can take down the bloodline together. I get it. That's what's best for business. We don't have to be friends, and we don't need to be friends to do it. But man, why would I fight for someone who doesn't even want to be my friend? Look, man, Cody, thank you for trying to do this. I really appreciate it, but I'm all set. All right. He hands Cody the mic and leaves the ring.
And the gut punch look on Sami Zayn's face when it dawns on him, he just wanted us back, not a business relationship.
No, he wanted his best friend back, his brother back, yes.
But Sammy assumes that Kevin doesn't want that. He assumes that Kevin's not interested in that, largely because of what he said before. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
And so Sammy's appealing to Kevin, you can still be done with me, but let's fight the bloodline together because that'll work. Well, no. Kevin said that in the first place out of hurt because he tried so many times to get Sammy back, to bring him back from the brink, and Sammy ignored him. And how hurtful is that's got to be painful for Kevin Owens. So eventually he was just like, I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Yeah.
Because it fucking hurts.
Yep.
And so Sammy, that look of realization on Sammy's face was really just brilliant. So after we get back from commercial, I believe we have Kevin Owens in the parking lot. Sammy walks up to him. Kevin's about to get in his car. Sammy says, wait, just listen to me, okay? Forget about everything I said about the bloodline, about fighting together. None of that stuff matters. What you said in the ring, you're wrong, okay? We are friends. We'll always be friends. We're not just friends. We're brothers. You understand that? We're brothers. If you never want to talk to me ever again, that's fine. Just want to let you know I love you. That's it, okay? That's it. And then Kevin Owens obviously soaks it in, does a bit of a double take, gets in his car, and drives away.
Good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
First match of the evening. Dom Mysterio, Rhea Ripley taking on Santos Escobar and Zelina Vega. Let's see here. Finish saw Dom and Santos hit double cross bodies. They tag in Rhea and Zelina. Zelina goes on a run, hits a tornado DDT, follows that with a roll up. Dom breaks that up. And Santos hits Dom with a jumping knee, puts him on the top rope. Rhea throws Zelina out of the ring. So Santos up there looking for a superplex. Rhea hits a Tower of Doom. Zelina gets back in the ring, hits Rhea with a crossbody, a knee, gets on the second rope. She looks like she's set up for Hurricane Rana on Rhea, but Dom gets back in the ring. She hits him with the Hurricane Rana, and then Rhea hits Zelina with a Riptide.
She put Zelina like through the mat with that Riptide. That was the most because Zelina is kind of small. Like she just lifted her way up there and just brought her down. Yeah. That was a vicious Riptide. That was pretty awesome. So anyways, of course, Dom, we get a winded Dom promo afterwards. It's like, I just wanted to come out here and say, you're a WWE Hall of Famer. Your WWE Hall of Famer is nothing but a disrespectful deadbeat of a father. He was never there for me all the sleepless nights. Like I said, at the end of the day, and then you see Ray up on the Tron. He's walking backstage. Smackdown rolls on back from commercial. Ray comes to the ring and Dom says, look at that, mommy. He actually decided to show up. Do you know how many nights I went without a father? I went a lot of nights. And Ray asked Rhea, hey, can I just have a moment with my son? And she's like, okay, go ahead. And all snarky like. So she gets off in the corner. Dom says, so now that we're in the middle of the ring, you have time for me? Is that how this is going to go? Where were you when I needed you? You're so selfish that you took away my mania moment. At the end of the day, you're just a scared, pathetic excuse for a father. And you know what? There's something else I want to get off my chest. The reality is you're just a piece of shit. And then Ray interrupts. That's enough, Dom. He says, you want to know they hear the truth? You're right. I haven't been the best father in the world. I missed birthdays, Christmases, graduations, football games. I know I haven't been there for you all the time. That doesn't take away my love for you. I still love you. Boy, a lot of love in this episode, Larson.
Yeah.
He says, whether you believe me or not, you're my world. You are my world, son. But soon you'll find out that this business is selfish, and I made sacrifices so that you, your mom, and your sister can have a life that I only dreamed of. All the fancy cars, all the brand names, you know it, all of it. yours, and what would happen every time you got in trouble, the Mysterio name would bail you out. But hear me out, because I'm really having a hard time coping with all this. I'm being inducted to the Hall of Fame. He said, this really hurts. I would love nothing more than having you standing by my side on that stage. Maybe my biggest regret is what you've become. I'll tell you what, when someone like you, an ungrateful, disrespectful, pathetic, punk-ass kid calls me out at Mania, I'd gladly whoop their ass. The crowd starts going crazy for the idea of him hitting his son.
The idea is that he's going to accept Dom's challenge,
Right. He says, unfortunately, you're wrong. You're my son, and fighting you would be my biggest disgrace as a father. You're not worth it, son. I'm not gonna fight you now. I'm not gonna fight you ever, and I won't fight you at Mania either. And then Ray leaves, and Dom's put off. He says, why not? Is it because you're doing now what you know how to do best? Run away, Mr. Future Hall of Famer, running away from his own son? That's what I thought. Like I said last week, you taught me exactly what not to be. A scared little man. That's all you got? And end scene.
End scene. It's going to... I hope it's Dom interrupting the Hall of Fame, his Ray's Hall of Fame speech, and that leads to their match. It's like
just trashes it. So we didn't talk about this in the open, but I thought this was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Did not expect it. Andy Kaufman is the next inductee into the Hall of Fame. I think this is terrific. Obviously, his situation with Lawler back in the early 80s, and it was like 83 or so, on the David Letterman show, bringing a lot of national attention to wrestling. One of the all-time great comedians, Andy Kaufman was. And I'm glad. I don't know. Do you think this would have happened under Vince McMahon?
I mean, it hadn't yet. And in terms of celebrities who really put a spotlight in the world of professional wrestling, I mean, Kaufman, was one of the first to really do it. I imagine in the 80s. Yeah. You would have thought when they were doing the Man on the Moon movie, it would be the perfect time to do it if you really want to capitalize on that publicity, and they didn't. So based on that, I would think if Vince had any inclination to do it, it would have been done by now. So I don't think he did.
Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, I love this. I did not think that this was possible. I saw this, was like, man, what a great class this is.
I know. If you want, like, Tales from the Territories did a full episode on Lawler and Kaufman's story in Memphis, and also there's a documentary called I'm From Hollywood about all this too. I highly recommend checking that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some really, 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 really great stuff.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to bring up Man on the Moon? Let me ask you something. Is your problem with that movie more the movie, or like the stories behind the scenes of Carrey being an asshole?
Admittedly, I'm not like the hugest Jim Carrey fan, although I like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Is a brilliant film. I love that movie.
It's a really good movie.
And like the documentary they made about his antics backstage while they made that movie wasn't out when the movie came out.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I mean, the movie just kind of felt like, all right, here's kind of generic biopic,
Biopics rarely rise above like this, being fairly paint by numbers,
Yeah. I mean, if you do something like this, it kind of, and then, it's Milos Forman, who is a director, and he's done some really cool stuff. Mm-hmm. You'd hope that, okay, they take an angle with the biopic that would mirror the story they're telling.
The
and it just didn't work out that way.
Andy Kaufman,
yeah. And so then, when I watched that documentary about the stuff Carey was doing backstage, it just drove me nuts.
They should have kayfabe. They should have kept kayfabe on it, and like add more shit that happened, filling in some of the story gaps.
Yeah,
Kaufman goes to Lawler's house and tries to kill him or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know.
Just get it completely fucking twisted.
I know.
Let's see. Then we had this is like a qualifying match here. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
WrestleMania showcase. I guess there's a women's 4-way tag match happening at WrestleMania. Yeah.
Wasn't there going to be like a men's one also?
Yeah.
No? Okay. It's going to be a men's and women's WrestleMania showcase. This is good to get more people on the show. This is, 16 more people that wouldn't have been on in the first place. So Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Emma and Tegan Knox. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. This is a fun match. Liv Morgan was doing all sorts of cool shit in this match.
Yeah.
So Liv, let's see here. So Raquel hits her finish on Emma, and then Liv follows up with an Oblivion to get the win for them. I don't know who else. I mean, there's plenty of like men tag teams that you know. I don't know about Alpha Academy
I suppose if Ronda's healthy, they can have Ronda and Shayna in that match.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm sure Shotzi can team with somebody. It's gonna be a bunch of put together tag teams.
It's gonna be, but you know what? They're getting a spot on Mania.
Oh, totally. I'm not complaining about the match getting time on the Mania card. At all.
Amelia and Candice.
Yeah,
Burr Winning brings that up.
Yeah.
Street
Carmella
Profits,
and Chelsea. There we go.
Carmella and Chelsea.
That'd be great.
There you go. Yeah,
they're a great team. Then we had Charlotte come to the ring, drop a promo. She says, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And I was a baby, this business was built on Rhodes as a challenger and Flair as a champ. And now here we are in 2023, and this Mania in LA is built on Rhodes as a challenger and Flair as a champ. I'm walking in my 7th WrestleMania, and all 7 I was either challenger or the champion. But I've always been the star. Now, Rhea want to be the champion. She want to be the star. But she can't be the star till she becomes the champ, but she can't become the champ till she goes through me. 3 years ago, Rhea couldn't go through me, and today she can't go through me because the more things change, the more they stay the same. So this brings Rhea and Dom out.
So Rhea says, you're 100% right, Charlotte. I chose you. I didn't choose Bianca because I have my reasons, but believe I like that, because reasons. But believe me when I say... we'll get back to that. When I walk through the locker room, men, women, they all turn their back and walk away because of fear, because I'm dangerous and everyone fears me, except for you. I mean, look at you right now. You're staring me down without an ounce of fear in your eyes, and that pisses me off. You're the SmackDown Women's Champion for a reason. You've been 14-time Women's Champ for a reason. It's because you're a superstar. You're a bright, bright, shiny star. And I can give you all the credit in the world, but that right there, your SmackDown Women's title, I need it. I just don't want it to be. I just don't want it to be a star. I bloody need to be a star. After Mania, once everything is done and dusted, you're going to learn to call me the champ, and you're going to learn to fear me. And then Dom steps in. Mommy's going to beat you at Mania. And then Rhea, Charlotte sort of puts her hand up to Dom. And then while she does that, Rhea cheap shots Charlotte. And then her and Dom leave. And Charlotte, they're taking their time getting out of there. They're just talking shit to the crowd. So Charlotte gets up to her feet. She takes off her heels and takes off her title. And she hits Rhea with a clothesline on the floor. They brawl a bunch. Brawl spills out into the crowd. Charlotte accidentally boots a security guard. Charlotte makes it back to the ring, holds up the title. Charlotte also done like a cool sort of diving spot off the table. And Rhea's being held back by security. And there's this great shot of Rhea's face. Goes, this devil stuff. It was really awesome, man. I like this segment.
Cool. It's good because the story of this feud had kind of been a bit tepid.
That could be said for both. Unfortunately, for both women's titles, I still think it's just. I understand. I like the idea of Rhea choosing Charlotte because of 3 years ago.
Yeah, the history makes sense. Yeah,
right. And I totally think Rhea's going to beat Charlotte here. I think that's going to happen. But I still would have loved to have seen. I think it's because they want Bianca to have a streak. Either they consciously want Bianca to have a WrestleMania streak, or they just want her to beat the old guard of 5 years ago. You know, it's like Asuka has been around for a little while. She is one of the most accomplished, people in the women's division in recent history. And so that would be a good win for Bianca. I hope it goes the other way, but I get the feeling that's what they're aiming for.
Seems like it. It seems like it. Then we had a Sami Zayn interview. He says, kind of a heavy night. One guy who considered me his brother drove off on me in the parking lot. Now another guy who once considered me his brother is probably waiting to take me out the second I step foot in the ring. When enough people who care about you start to tell you that you're the problem, you kind of start to believe it. So Jay wants to meet me in the ring, fine. Whatever happens next, fine. I brought this all on myself. It's time for me to handle this all by myself. Jay wants me to pull up, fine. It's time to pull up.
Pull up. But before he pulled up, we had Xavier Woods versus LA Knight, and this stems from a moment. I mean, I know there's the Kofi stuff, but earlier Madcap Moss and Woods are playing some 2K23. LA Knight walks in. He's not a fan of video games. He says, if you weren't playing games, you'd be at WrestleMania. And then Woods is like, look, man, let's have a match tonight. He was like, And then Xavier Woods gets the win here on LA Knight.
Yeah,
he'll start getting post-Mania. He's going to go on a run. LA Knight is.
Hope so. Mm-hmm. Hope so. Sky's the limit. No, there is no limit for LA Knight.
Yeah, sky's an incel. After that, we had the announcement that the Great Muta is being announced also for the WWE Hall of Fame. Pretty cool. And then we had LA Knight walking backstage after his loss. He's steamed. Kayla steps in for an interview, and he's like, wait, hold on a second. This guy isn't even bugging him. Ray is just there. He's already had it out with his son. He's just signing some autographs, doing his contractual obligation.
Yes.
And he starts giving him shit for that. He's like, hey, if you don't fight your son, I will. I'll even call myself L.A. Mysterio. How about that? How about that? And Ray stands up, talks some shit in Spanish, and gives him a fucking slap to the face.
Yeah.
And LA Knight's only response is, what did he just say?
Yeah. I guess that match is happening next week.
Yeah, that's happening next week. That might be a win for LA Knight if Dom Mysterio.
That could be.
It's going to be the thing where Dom interferes, but it doesn't matter. LA Knight's going to lose.
I know. Then we got Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. So the winner of this was to face Gunther at WrestleMania.
My duty is to beat one of these men, singular. Nope.
So Imperium, they come take the match ringside, down towards the finish. Sheamus hits 10 beats, looking for a bro kick. Drew ducks that, hits a neck breaker. He calls for the Claymore. Instead, Sheamus counters with the running knee, gets a 2. So they eventually both hit their finishers on each other at the same time. And so they're both down. So the ref starts the standing 10 count. And Gunther is like, no, this is no good, because he realizes if standing 10 count goes through, probably he's going to have to face both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets in the ring and starts giving the ref the business. And the ref's like, hey, just let me do my job, man.
Yeah, man.
And so Gunther is yelling at Sheamus and Drew, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And then both Drew and Sheamus eventually get to their feet. Well, Vinci and Kaiser get in the ring, lay them both out. Gunther then takes down Drew and Sheamus and then powerbombs Sheamus on Drew's back. And then the Imperium leaves. Pierce shows up on the Tron and says, Gunther, you made it seem like you wanted to face one person, but based on your actions tonight, you left me no choice. You're going to defend against Drew and Sheamus at WrestleMania.
Ideally, the finish of that match would be him powerbombing one guy onto the other guy, stacking him, and then does the thing where he puts all his weight and he balances on him for the pin.
They don't do that enough on main roster.
No, they really need to get back to that because it's pretty awesome.
It's great.
Yeah. After that, we had the big main event segment, Jey Uso and Sammy's face-to-face. So Jey gets in the ring first. Sammy makes his entrance, and he says, all right, Jey, this is what you wanted, right? You wanted me to pull up? I pulled up. So how do you want to do this? And then Jey steps up to Sammy and says, I got a job to do tonight, but you're about to hear this. From day one, I didn't like you. From day one, I didn't trust you. I didn't want you around my family. He says, but then week after week, they started liking you. Jimmy started liking you. Solo started liking you. Wise Man liked you. Hell, even Roman liked you, but not me. He says, as a boy, I always thought it was my job to protect my family, and I will today. The one time I put my guard down to somebody who I thought loved me, and what did you do? You betrayed me. You embarrassed me. You made me feel stupid in front of the whole damn world, Sammy. I called you my brother. You know what that means to me? Somebody said I second guess myself all the time, and she might be right. What is that a reference to? That's got to be a reference to something.
Yeah.
He says she might be right, but I know one thing from day one: you've always been a fake ass oos. So what happens next, Sammy? He says I ain't got no choice, and Sammy's like, no. That's a lie. You keep saying that you got no choice, but guess what? You've had a choice since day one, and you choose to take Roman's abuse over and over and over. That's your choice. I loved you. I loved this family. But I wasn't going to take that every week. But you did. You kept choosing it. I don't think you're mad at me, Jey. I think you're mad at yourself. You're not mad that I hit Roman with that chair. You're mad that you didn't get to do it first. And Jey reels at that one. And Sammy says, you always have a choice. And Jey doesn't want to hear it anymore, so he just punches Sammy. Sammy fights back, gets some ground and pound, and then Jimmy comes out of nowhere, hits the ring, super kick, blasts Sammy with the ring steps. The Usos turn towards the ramp, and Kevin kind of casually just slides into the ring, casually takes off his jacket while they're still expecting him to be coming down the ramp. Jey Uso turns around. Kevin Owens lays him out, takes them both out, hits Jimmy with a stunner, hits Jey with a pop-up power bomb. Sammy finally gets to his feet. Kevin walks towards him, and Sammy's starting to walk back like he's going to get hit next.
Yeah.
And Kevin just embraced him. The crowd fucking goes nuts. And then, I mean, like I said earlier, gotta be up for sainthood for this miracle we saw. Cody Rhodes watching his master plan unfold on the television, watching it.
It was too much.
Or not enough.
Too much.
Or not enough.
I think
that's a debatable topic. Right.
Much.
My opinion.
As Cody says,
case could be
more
made.
Cody the better. So,
right. More is better.
That's obviously his philosophy. Go watch the Fatal Revolution ladder match.
More is more. Where can you even watch that anymore? That was on Dynamite, wasn't it?
No, that was on a pay-per-view.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I swear I was on a Dynamite.
It was one of the pandemic pay-per-views, I believe.
Okay. It just felt like a Dynamite then.
I guess Cody thought, well, there's only wrestlers here watching the show. I can do what I want.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll be the focal point of this match, even though I'm not winning it.
Well, the great thing about the main thing about that is that he can't control what people are watching there live. But like for all of us, I swear to God, it was like he was like, okay, camera. Who's directing this?
He was directing that match. I know.
All right, here's the deal. From his head, though, it's like, how did make sure that there's no frame without me in it? And they're like, oh, well, you're going to be in the match the whole time. No, I'm going backstage at one point.
I'm going to be in the tunnel selling injury.
Oh, so we don't have to.
No, I'm in the frame.
How are we going to do this?
The story being told here. So wait, you're going to come back from injury and win the match? No.
No. Somebody else is winning the match.
Somebody else is winning the match.
Scorpio Sky is winning the match. But
so
here's
what's the story.
Me.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're the boss.
Yeah. Oh, you got that right. You can say it again too. I'm the what? He does the Cody gif.
Oh.
After that, we had AEW Rampage. Why did Ray Phoenix get so? I love Ray Phoenix.
Oh, I do too.
That dude got way too much of his shit in on Powerhouse Hobbs, man. Too much. It was a long ass match, like a 12, 15-minute match.
And most of it was Powerhouse Hobbs destroying Ray Phoenix. It was just short little stretches that Phoenix got stuff in.
Yeah, he was kicking out of too many.
You don't want to. You don't want to. Look, Powerhouse Hobbs is great. We're huge Powerhouse Hobbs here.
Can agree
fans
on
here
that.
at Going It Raw.
Yes.
Massive.
Yeah.
Still, Ray Phoenix is he's a really good wrestler too.
Oh, dude, he's amazing. He's great. Yeah. But
he's got to get some of his stuff in.
5-minute squash. Maybe the story here is Powerhouse Hobbs is not as good because QT and his QTV polo are in his corner, just smiling and mugging.
Less QT, please.
Absolutely.
At least as it relates to Powerhouse Hobbs. Let's talk about this real fast because it was the topic du jour on Twitter over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
So we got the announcement that we're getting Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo.
Who's that? I don't even know who that is.
So there was that aspect of it.
That was my impression of the internet wrestling. Who's that?
Vikingo? Why should I care? And then the other aspect was, well, I know who he is, but why is there no story to this match? And look, we love story as much as anybody in our professional wrestling. It's okay sometimes just to have a dream match scenario, whether you consider this a dream match or not. For some people, it is. Myself included. I really want to see this. For the match itself, maybe not may not have a whole lot of story, but here's something to think about though. This could play into Kenny's larger narrative of him leaving the trios division and becoming a singles wrestler again. So there could be a story involved in the match, even if the story isn't necessarily between the two competitors.
Yeah, I look as two guys who follow AAA. Probably more than most in our sphere from amongst our contemporaries, but still, we don't follow it week to week, but we are well aware of the magnificence of Vikingo.
Oh, brilliant.
The one aspect of this debate, this discussion that I kind of agree with, or my take on it is, I don't know how long Vikingo is going to be in AEW. If this is going to be a one-off deal, then I kind of get it. Like this would kind of make some amount of sense. If he's going to be in AEW longer, I do think that they should start doing vignettes where Vikingo's coming to AEW. This is, and you run, you do the old WWE thing. Or have them fight people in a parking lot like Wardlow. But you build it up in advance and say, hey, Vikingo's coming to AEW. Holy shit, really? Vikingo's coming here? That's what you and I would be saying. And then we find out, well, who's his first match going to be? Fucking Kenny Omega? What? I do think that to a degree, Tony Khan used to be a lot better at actually promoting his stuff because you used to get cool vignettes like that. And that's sort of stopped to a degree. Even Impact will run vignettes where people are on their way or whatever. And then they have their big debut match.
I would speculate that it's Vikingo's future in AEW is kind of a bit of an unknown. It took him forever.
That could entirely be possible, yeah.
Just to do some American shows, which he's finally been able to do of late. And maybe this is for now a one-time deal. And if there's other opportunities to bring him back, sure, I'm great. Let's have more. But who knows? So have him in a highly anticipated match against one of the best wrestlers in the world, in Kenny Omega. Let the AEW audience see who Vikingo is and what he could do in the ring. And so the next time they have an opportunity to bring him in, people will be excited about him being there because they're like, holy shit, this guy is amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I look, the whole frustration of people tweeting out, who's this guy? That's stupid. Like the amount of time you just took to tweet that, you could have tweeted his name on Google and come up with a bunch of awesome highlights. What did I say? Oh, so funny.
Tweeted his name on Google.
Typed his name on Google. Typed it. Fucking, I'm old, man. What do you fucking want from me? You type out his name on the Google, and then you get a bunch of video clips out. The tweeting in the Google works. All right. So you asshole. And so,
come on, it's funny.
But it is pretty funny. I know you got to call me out on that shit. But yeah, I don't know, man. I look at, fucking like Dragon Lee. He's in the crowd. He has an interview.
He's signed with NXT. He's going to be there for a while.
Now I'm looking forward to him. Yeah, I know.
Be a regular player in NXT. We don't know that about Vikingo. This could be his one and only match at AEW. Just give it to us.
Yeah. I'm not gonna
who knows? Maybe this came together short notice.
Shit about Vikingo versus Kenny Omega. I'm not going to do that. Little razzle dazzle, man. Just a little razzle dazzle, Larson. He just tweeted this shit out. He just tweeted this shit out.
Package on Rampage.
Little razzle dazzle.
Maybe Tony Khan was just so excited because they just came to agreement on the deal.
Hey,
he's like, man, can't wait.
If we had Vikingo and Action Coast, oh man, I'd be tweeting that shit out.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna wait for a new video package.
Wait for that latest episode of Surge that I got to get done.
By the way, especially because of this, because here's the thing to think about. I think the show is in Missouri somewhere. I think it's Independence, Missouri. You going to wait till Friday to make the formal announcement on Rampage, or are you going to tweet that shit out right away to boost some ticket sales maybe?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, they need ticket sales. It's just sort of surprising they wouldn't have said this like on, well, they probably didn't know on Dynamite.
That's what I'm saying. It seemed like it came together short notice.
Man, yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it does a good number. Because it's going to be a killer match. People who are sleeping on this match is going to be a match of the year candidate.
Yeah, give it 20 minutes. It's going to be
I will fucking guarantee it's going to be a match of the year candidate.
Yeah, it's going to be something else.
Yeah. A couple of people asking Backy here in YouTube chat, and a couple other people knows. I've had this tattoo. This is a tattoo I've had for a long time. This right here is I had blood drawn today so that I can get some lab work done just because I'm old, as you guys know.
How long have you had that on?
I want to make sure since fucking, I don't know. When did I get it? Was my appointment was 9:50, probably 10:30.
Oh, you can take that off.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to do it during the show though. Well, I'm sitting here tweeting out Google.
Just in case like you blood starts squirting out and you're
yeah. Like I was going to right before we went live, but it's like all sticky and shit. And I didn't want to do it. Yeah. So I don't know. It's probably a big old bruise there or whatever. It hooded.
It's giving you a hard time. This show's about giving Steve a hard time.
I know. My goodness gracious.
So Rampage opened up Powerhouse Hobbs defending the TNT Championship against Ray Phoenix. Hobbs got like so much of his shit in. He was dominating Ray Phoenix for 95% of this bout. And the finish was awesome. Where Phoenix makes a bit of a comeback, looking for a rolling cutter. Instead, Hobbs catches him with a spine buster.
Woo!
And then powers him up for the finish.
Woo! Yeah.
And then Alex gets in the ring. Hobbs grabs him by the lapels of his jacket, and then QT gets in the ring and hits Alex with a diamond cutter. Could have done without that part of it.
Bang! Yeah, I don't need to see QT getting his shit in. What the heck?
No, I want to see Hobbs getting more of his shit in.
Yeah, exactly. Adam Cole had a video package after that. Baby.
Yeah,
He's
hyping his return on the 28th. Yeah, the 28th. So a week from Wednesday.
Who do you think his first opponent's going to be?
He wants a technician. That's what he said. He wants someone to challenge him, give him the fight of his life, he said.
Oh, my goodness. See, I would want a tune-up. I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'd like somebody who's dark elevation, maybe, somewhere from that pool.
No,
Pick him up,
Cole is
easy
saying,
win.
Not only my back, I'm going to show my main event bona fides.
You got to ease into it. Look at that. Chugs is not learning a lesson. He went too hard, too fast, and look what happened. He got burned. So take it easy, Maybe like, I don't know, local enhancement talent. Wherever they're going to be at that point.
I don't know where they are in 2 weeks. I don't know.
Neither do I.
Then we got a Stu Grayson video package. I guess he said Uno was concussed after what happened. And so he's going to come fight Moxley because he's getting some measure of vengeance.
Caleb says Cole versus CM Punk confirmed.
There we go.
Yeah, this was a good video package for Stu Grayson.
It was. I'm happy they brought him back because dude's a really good wrestler.
Oh, he's terrific. Absolutely. Then we had Taya Valkyrie making her AEW in-ring debut against Ava Lawless. See here, this is the kind of Adam Cole return match that he needs. Just pluck somebody, the easy win. And Taya Valkyrie here hits Road to Valhalla, a.k.a. also known as Jaded. When Jade Cargill does it, and then Jade and Sterling, the lawyer guy, they show up on the ramp there, and they're like,
So there's going to be an injunction filed, because I think commentary basically said that there's going to be an injunction filed so Taya can't use Road to Valhalla when they have their match.
Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Guarantee that's going to happen.
You're right. You're 1,000% right. I'm just putting that out there in the world.
No, they shouldn't do it, but that's what's going to happen.
Keep Sterling. Sterling is fine with, I don't know, what are they called? The varsity athletes or whatever?
Yeah, Tony Nese and Josh Woods, yeah.
Or isn't he with somebody else? The Davari group? He's not with, the Trustbusters or something like that?
Dude, I don't know how that all fits together, man.
Hey, this Stokely training montage was pretty funny, though.
Awesome. I watched this 3 times on Twitter
so
before
did I.
watched the show.
This was hilarious.
This was so good.
Yeah, this was good.
That was so good. So it's Matt Hardy, Ethan Page, and Isaiah Cassidy training Stokely for his match against Hook on Dynamite. And so they're running ropes. There's one point where Matt Hardy's like, we need to toughen you up, so we're going to start body slamming you. So everybody takes turn body slamming. And Matt Hardy says, this is good because Hook uses a lot of suplex. And Ethan Page just peeks in from the corner and frame says, why are we giving him body slams?
This
perfect delivery.
This is as close as it would be if I was doing pro wrestling training.
Yes.
Because the last shot is Stokely having a chocolate chip cookie while he's finishing up, running stairs or something.
Yeah.
And there's one part where he's got what's his face?
Cassidy's got the red rum on him. Yeah.
Cassidy. Well, no, there's a part Cassidy. I thought he had him in a fireman's carry, and Cassidy's head is right there. He's like, he's doing that shit.
Well, there's that bit where Cassidy has him in the red rum and Stokely reaches around and tickles him.
Yeah, there's that part also, yeah.
Yeah.
It was all good stuff.
Yeah, this was great.
And I like how disjointed it was. It wasn't bit. It was all running into each other. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
The editing was really good, yeah.
It was good. Good stuff. Then we got the Bollywood Boys taking on Daddy Magic, Cool Hand Ange, 2.0.
Entertainers.
Got the win pretty quickly here. The double team elevated DDT. Then we got a bit where Don Callis meets up with Takeshita at the Winnipeg airport, presents him with flowers. He's got a guy playing a taiko drum to greet him. So Don Callis' recruitment of Takeshita continues.
Correct.
And then we got the Vikingo video package.
Yeah. Good stuff. I like this. So outside like a hotel or something, the Guns and Top Flight run into each other. And, they're like, hey, you guys are, what does it feel like being only the second best brothers tag team in the company? And they're like, oh, you guys are big Young Bucks fans? And they're like, no, we're not talking about them. And they're like, oh, you like the Lucha Brothers? I'm like, no, we're not talking about them either. No, the point we're trying to make is that we're the top brothers tag team. And then dude says, Dante says, yeah, but, if we ever got to wrestle each other, we'd be top brothers tag team because we'd beat you for these titles. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you want to do that? And then they walk off, but they've left their bags. So I'm assuming.
Yeah, because initially they thought Top Flight was valet.
Mm-hmm, yeah, right. And so I imagine Top Flight's probably going to take a big Duke in their bags and give them back.
Yeah.
Probably. think
Dante's gotten really good on the mic.
I know. It's all that time his brother's been gone.
I know.
He's gotten time on the mic. Whenever he's on the mic, I'm like, hey, dude, you're doing pretty good. You're improving.
Yeah. Main event was Brody King versus Daniel Garcia. We got to see a bit of Daniel Garcia's personality during this match when Brody's chasing him around the ring and he walks up to Julia Hart and he's like, stuck. And then he starts dancing.
Yeah. No, dude, we have been seeing this come out a little bit more and more over the weeks. We saw a lot of it when the cameras weren't on at the live show. And it is a sight to behold. Yeah. We had Jericho hitting Brody with a bat so that helping Daniel Garcia secure the win here. Mm-hmm. You know, man, I criticized it, and I think I was right with my criticism of the storyline where was he going to be an entertainer or pro wrestler?
Yeah.
I get the feeling long-term him sticking with JAS is just a smart move because it is bringing his personality out a lot, and I love to see it.
Yeah, agreed. That was Rampage. Steve.
That was Rampage.
Would you like to answer some questions?
Yeah, we'll see if we got some questions here on the, again, if you're a channel member, we post up recap question threads. And if you're a patron, we do the same thing for that as well. By the way, we've got 595 people watching right now. Do us a solid. Give us that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell next to it so you always know when we are going live.
Indeed. Cool Bro here asks, is there anything you would have changed with Cody's week-to-week match booking to set him up for Roman? Cool Bro says it's been kind of underwhelming. He hasn't faced amazing competition aside from Gunther at the Rumble. So not necessarily the story beats, just in terms of Cody's matches leading up to Mania. No match against Solo, which I guess makes sense because they don't want Solo to lose. No matches against the Usos yet.
He's taken a different approach to bloodline hunting. He's the Amanda Waller. He's getting the team together. He fought Finn Balor.
That's right.
He fought Finn Balor. I think he's had a couple other matches, maybe.
He fought Finn. He fought
L.A. Knight.
Chad
He
Gable,
beat L.A. Knight.
L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
He's facing Ludwig Kaiser.
I mean, the magic of Cody really is in his promos, his ability to bring the world together, to unite people, of all different walks. Higmeister General says, is it okay for a 41-year-old man to almost shed a tear when Sammy and Kevin Owens hugged, asking for a friend? Yeah. Oh, it's almost totally fine. It's like a necessity, really. I'm going to ugly cry if he wins. Kiddo Hudson
says... if Cody wins?
Yeah, if Cody wins.
All right. I hope that happens. That's
what it's going to be.
You're going to try singing his theme song through tears.
Someday, Cody Rhodes. Kiddo Hudson says, this is a follow-up to my last question you guys answered about a new WWE World title and the name. So I got a perfect name for it. The WWE Cody Championship. I like that better than most. Immediately, the Cody Rhodes Memorial Championship.
Memorial?
Oh, is that only if somebody's dead?
Yes.
All right, the Cody Rhodes Victory Championship.
Terrible.
Awesome, actually.
More Cody isn't always the answer. Steve there asks, who should win Money in the Bank to face Roman or Cody, depending on who wins? Steve there says Finn if it's Cody, Jey Uso if it's Roman. The correct answer, regardless who walks out of WrestleMania champion, is...
Finn Balor, but you're going to say L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight. Finn Balor should win Money in the Bank. They need to go back to people who are believable, who could cash in now and be champion now. Maybe in 2024, L.A. Knight will be there. He's still young.
Wins Money in the Bank. L.A. Knight wins the Rumble. Going a whole year winning matches after Mania, or nearly a year.
There you go. I like it. Angelic Wolf. If the Bloodline story is S tier and the WCW Invasion is F tier, I don't know if I put Invasion at F tier.
There was some good stuff there. I mean,
there was some good stuff.
It wasn't the best it could be, but it had some good stuff. Yeah.
Right. But he continues, where would you rank the Dom storyline? It wouldn't be S tier, but it'd be pretty high up there for me. It definitely wouldn't be meh.
It just doesn't have the same stakes as, for example, the Invasion story or even the Bloodline story. In terms of, major matters. It's a very personal storyline. It matters a lot to Dom and Ray, but it doesn't have implications for like the future of the company like the Invasion did or world titles. And by that measure, I mean, it doesn't have the stakes that those other stories did.
Yeah, sure. That's got to be considered. But, the love of a father and a son And will that father hit his son on the grandest stage of them all?
Well,
pretty high stakes. Jacob Wentz says, how are they going to make the Sammy, Kevin Owens versus Usos match for the tag titles?
How are they going to make it?
Yeah, they're just going to say it.
Yeah, I mean, someone's going to challenge the other team for a match, and they'll say sure.
They'll probably do a good job. At this point, Cody does need to step the fuck off.
Yes,
I think they will probably cut a promo where they equate the titles with the thing, like with, this matters to us. This is our symbol of this is why the bloodline is unbreakable. They'll make the titles into a metaphor for who's right and who's wrong here.
Yes. Alex Foster asks, if you guys got into a fight, what wrestler would you want to repair your relationship?
Oh, dude. Well, okay.
Cody's off the table. You can't say Cody.
I wouldn't say Cody because I know of your feel. You will think that he's simply trying to manipulate us for his own gain.
I'd hold it against you because, like Steve, you did this. And Cody's doing this to benefit himself, not us.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So Alex Foster suggests Sangha.
Oh, old school Sangha though, not the current Sangha. Current Sangha might just give us a choke bomb or something.
Yeah.
You know what? Does MVP count as a current wrestler? I feel like MVP's skills to bring people together would probably work.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
MVP
is a good answer.
Yeah. Give us another one because I like this question a lot. Oh, no. Maggie says Tyler Bate, but I would have the same problem with Tyler Bate that you have with Cody. I'm like, this is nonsense. You used to be cool and you suck now.
Yeah. I mean, he's a scumbag in storyline, but he's like a cool scumbag. It's Finn Balor. You see how he's brought together Judgment Day.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
They were a mess prior to him being a part of the group, and now look at him.
Oh, that's good.
Harmonious.
Like yeah.
So Finn Balor.
Okay, great. Finn Balor. I'd be like, oh, this is great, man. Can we join? Now that Larson and I are on the same page, can we join Judgment Day? No way. Look at you. You're so old.
Well, like Finn, I'm trying to get in really good shape so I can get Balor bod. If I do that, can we join?
Balor bod? What are you, 60 years old? You can never attain my bod.
I'm maybe 8 years older than you, Finn.
Oh, my God. What have you done in your life to have withered away so much?
Not enough.
And then I'd step in and I'd be like, stop being rude to my friend.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. I'm all out of questions. Do you have any other good ones?
Let's see. Luis asks, how would you book a Nakamura-led strong style faction? Who would be in it? It'd be him, Nakamura, it'd be Bronson Reed. I mean, it's the dudes who beat Okada faction. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. That'd actually be a really good faction.
Nakamura, Bronson Reed, Jay White.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
AJ. Killer
faction right there. Yeah, killer faction. Oh, my God. That's a good one. All right, man.
Yeah,
let's go ahead and get this done.
Oh,
Triple H is ready. I gotta rip this Band-Aid off at some point.
You should do it during the call.
No, I'm not gonna do it during the call.
You should do it while I'm talking to Triple H. So when you pull the tape off your arm hair,
you know what sucks about you?
What?
If I did that and we come back from the call and it's off and you'll have never known, you'll move the goalposts again. You'll be like, oh, it didn't count. Because you're trying to expose some weird thing about me being Triple H or something.
You've already exposed yourself as Triple H. I don't need to expose anything else.
How have I exposed myself?
Because
That's ridiculous.
You tried to hide your mouth the first My GM thing.
That was silliness. You know what? I try to make a joke here on the channel, and it goes above your head. Not surprising. Listen.
Anyways, really? Really? All right.
You heard me. Here we go. There. Talk to Paul.
Sure.
Hi, this is Paul Levesque here to talk to you about WWE business. How can I help you? On the game. Don't interrupt during my intro.
What can we expect on Raw today, Triple H?
Oh, man. I'm so glad you asked that, not some other asinine question. Big things here. Roman Reigns. the Bruno Sammartino of his time, the Triple H of his time, if such a thing is possible, returns to Raw to address the real Triple H of his era, Cody Rhodes. Man, did you see Cody looking at the TV and saying, look at what I've done? Perfect storytelling on Smackdown this past Friday. Absolutely unassailable. Perfect stuff. Absolutely great. Just no caveats, no wells, no buts.
You know, the storytelling art, one's appreciation of it is subjective.
From beginning to end, objectively great. It's a team effort. I'd like to thank the Academy and Paul Heyman and Michael P.S. Hayes, and yeah, just great stuff. Oh man, Cultaholic is rating us with a party at 36. Maybe I'll grace them with my phone calls if you're not appreciative of my storytelling abilities.
Well, all right, do what you want to do.
Logan Paul is coming up to present a live episode of Impulsive TV. I'll be honest with you, this is a dad thing. This is a Vince thing. Here's a scoop. He's back. He's totally back. Why are you putting on sunglasses? You're visually interrupting me.
It's bright here.
It is not the brightness of my storytelling ability, the star power. Then Montez Ford is out for payback on Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Yes, that should be a good match. That should be great. Don't interrupt. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. No. Okay. What's your question?
Actually, I don't have any questions today. We got the Raw preview. I'm good.
Oh, I know you got a question. You got a question. What can you do better for on SmackDown in my GM mode? I know Steve's been doing a silly impression of me there. Totally not me. Not me. Totally Steve over there doing my impression. I gave him permission. I'm sorry. Fat John Cena. What was I thinking? Fat John Cena is doing an impression of me.
And kind of drop kayfabe there for a second.
I endorse it.
Triple H.
I endorse it. I'm fine with it. I think it's great.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead. That's the whole point.
We actually get a surprise. Can you, Triple H, actually call in and talk to Steve on one of our My GM?
I did that. I did. You're Steve, number one. Number two, it's Fat John Cena. I will not talk to Fat John Cena. No, I will not do that.
Because I wasn't there, and I didn't get to experience it live, and that's really the pleasure of it all, is being there when it happens.
That's a YP, not an MP. Your problem. I did my part. He did his part to prove to the world. And most of the people agreed. 83%.
Why was Steve's mouth covered up with the picture of you? Don't say anything about the Zoom window, because I know that could be moved.
Technical issues, Zoom windows. I don't know. I'm not. Listen, I do my part. I call in. He does the rest. He's the technical wizard. He knows what he's doing.
So you agree with me that he is a technical wizard? Okay, good.
Well, compared to like you, for example.
Good. No, I'm happy we're in agreement that he's the one.
Compared to like a dog, don't interrupt me. He should
be able to know where that window goes. I'm happy we agree on that
point. Somebody's really spicy today. You got a lot of fight in you today. I like it. I like to see it. Look at you, the proverbial sledgehammer today on the call with Triple H.
All right, Triple H, have a good one.
All right, you have a good day. I'm going to go when I want to go. I'm not going yet. I'm going to go on my own terms. Goodbye. He's gone. Oh, I took off the thing, by the way.
That's good.
Right.
What?
Sorry, you said, you should take it off while I'm on the call with him, as if it was going to prove something.
So if
what?
It pulls arm hair, maybe you'd be like, for a little bit. And obviously didn't pull any arm hair because you don't have arm hair much.
Pretty smooth right here. What if this thing just started fountain out?
Yeah, if you start squirting blood everywhere, that's something else. So an interesting point. Triple H agreed with me that you are pretty good with technical stuff, so there's really no reason you should have your mouth covered when you were talking to him. So.
Well, compared to like you, I'm a technical wizard, but
I even know how to put the zoom window somewhere else. So you should be able to know how to.
You can shove the zoom window up your ass. How about that, old man?
Very mature, Steve. Very mature.
No, it wasn't. That's why it was funny. Anyways, that's going to do it for today. Oh, God. What a fun episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Shove this window up your ass.